Hello and welcome to today's Facecast. Today we're in the New Testament, towards the end of the New Testament, just before Revelation. We're in the second letter of Peter, chapter 1, verse 5. 2 Peter, chapter 1, verse 5, which says, "For this very reason, make every effort to add to your faith goodness, and to goodness knowledge." For this very reason. Well, what very reason? You have to read a few verses beforehand, don't we? See what's going on. His divine power, God's divine power, ability, has given us everything we need for life and godliness through our knowledge of him. So he gives us what we need to live our lives, okay? He's called us, who has called us by his own glory and goodness. He calls us to be with him. He calls out to us to follow him. That is, God our Father in heaven does. And he gives us what we need in order to follow him. Through these, he has given us his very great and precious promises. So he promises to be with us, so that through them you may participate in the divine nature. So with his promises to us and the things that he gives us, we can be part of who he is and escape the corruption in the world caused by evil desires. So we can overcome our own shortcomings by aligning ourselves with our Father in heaven and drawing from him the resources to live this life. For this very reason, then, make every effort to add to your faith goodness, and to goodness knowledge. And it carries on to add other things there. So because God has given us so much, he's called us to be with him, and in doing so, he gives us the things that we need in order to follow him and to be the people he calls us to be. Therefore, we have something ourselves to do. We have to add goodness and kindness and knowledge to what we have from God. So it's a two-way thing. It's what we would call a covenant relationship. He does something for us and we do something for him and for ourselves. We add to what he has given us by what we must do. Okay, so how today are you and I going to add goodness and knowledge to our world? Well, we could do no wrong than read something in the Bible. So you might want to read this letter, this second letter of Peter, and see what that brings you. That'd be one way of adding to your knowledge. You might then, as a result of that, pray, and whatever comes to mind, having read those things. And there might be a whole lot about relationships, about the world in which we live, about yourself. So you could read the Bible, you could pray, and then as you go about your day, those things will influence you. You know they will in faith, trusting without fully knowing. Those things will influence your day and influence everybody you might talk to or have reason to communicate with. Not a bad pattern for living, not a bad pattern for each day. Read the Bible, pray, go out there and live. Adding knowledge and goodness to the good things that God gives us. That's the word for today. See you soon. Bye for now.